Okay, the final thoughts I mentioned in the previous video, they're gonna also transcribe to this video. I don't understand. The biggest issue in this game is that they experimented with it. There's nothing wrong with experimentation. I understand that to keep a game going, you do have to take some risk and experiment and quote unquote make the game better. But sometimes the best way to experiment with that is to create a whole new video game series and then experiment. Because when you mess with, long time favorites, it makes the community, well, this is just my opinion, but it makes the community not really want to play it. This game is okay. Okay, but personally, Max Payne 2 is way more enjoyable. Even after I played the game about 30 times, my personal time and recording, I've actually went back and opened up the cheat system and experimented with the game so I can, find little new areas, new knickknacks, stuff they may have missed. That's what made Max Payne 2 enjoyable. Max Payne 1, you couldn't really do this. You can, but because the game is so old, it kind of flips out, kind of bugs out. Max Payne 3, I'm not sure if you can enable cheats. I'm pretty sure you can, but judging by the internet, it seems to get to install a additional file to mess with the cheats. Um, this is like one of the games where you wanted to play. I wanted to play it to see if I missed out on anything, but it's also one of the games that once you play it, you wish you never played it because it's just kind of just tasteless. It's like playing Halo. You play Halo 1, it's like Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST. Some people like that. Halo Reach was Bungie's goodbye. Then you had the trash that came after it. Yeah, Halo 4. Nobody talks about Halo 4. Halo 5 Guardians was basically what Halo 4 should have been, and then Halo Infinite is just the only thing that's nice about the game that I heard so far was the what you call it, that little thing on the arm. I forgot what you call it, but yeah, this is the experience was okay. I give this like a 5 out of 10 because I didn't really enjoy it. I had more so many irritations just trying to get through it, and that's the issue. Like I was just playing just to get through. I wasn't playing to enjoy it because you know. And like Mona Sachs is in here, or these just actors. But the issue is what happened to Mona Sachs. I remember researching and saying that they said that they didn't want to continue on the story with Mona Sachs, though they should have. You know, it could have been like the police was trying to go after him. Go ahead and get rid of him because they have would have been paid to get rid of him, or tying up loose ends, that kind of thing. Another thing that this game does that I didn't appreciate was it played the dark, depressing music that you see in Max Payne 2 in the cutscenes with Max, but you don't hear it anywhere else aside for those cutscenes. And then one thing that didn't make sense to me the most is that how did Max Payne 2 look much older? How did Max Payne look much older in the second game, but in the third game he looks a little younger than the second game? That part didn't make sense. In the first game he was young. The second game he was older, like 30 and 40s, but he was much more. They changed his body physique. He had a rectangle type head, and his body was much more slimmer. And I know the graphics then wasn't as good now, and then, but still, like they changed his whole body. Like his body is like muscular. He looked more like Robin Williams, or Breaking Bad character. And I was like, so, but in all honesty, as a fan of the Max Payne series, I would play Rockstar games in the future, but I think after this display, oh no, it is, but that is by far the most frustrating game I played. I played Super Mario NES, the go-kart version on PC, and I only tasted silver. okay? And that was frustrating, true enough, but I still kept coming back trying to play and trying to improve my skills at beating the computer on super hard mode. This game doesn't really give you that. You just want to get out of the way. It's like one of those it's like eating Brussels sprouts. Like, you know other stuff's out there that's much better, but you want to get the Brussels sprouts over. And I can't. Okay, I hit enter to skip the whole thing. But will I ever come back and play this game? Absolutely not. It is garbage. It is like, everything about it. Arcade. No. Grinds. These are not intriguing. These are not interesting because they're just ew. Dual wielding burns your bullets up quicker. And then one thing that really did trigger me was, why was the enemies dodging the bullets with their heads? You can't see a bullet once it's fired. You literally have, when the gun is fired, you literally have a second to get out of the way. These jokers are wearing military gear. This stuff is heavy. There's no way you dodging this. And then they're like moving their heads, doing the limbo. That part is irritating. I missed most of my bullets just by like, because they were doing that. But the game does a major twist. Why is he drinking Jack Daniels? Everybody knows it's Jack Daniels, okay? You ain't telling me nothing. Why is he drinking more? Why did he go to Panama? The part is, in the first two games, he's been in New York City, okay? But they showed the depressing side of New York in the first game, and then the cop version of New York in the second game. How did he end up in this bar? Okay? What led him to, he came to a conclusion in the last game that he saw his wife and said it was alright. And so usually that means that, you come to resolve. Usually you do something a little more progressive with yourself. But he doesn't do that in this game. He just goes back into that state of being used. And this is obnoxious. Like, let me go and find some little things. Hold on. I'm not playing this no more. This was disgusting. I'm turning graphics all the way. Well, one thing I will give Rockstar credit. This is a 10-year-old computer. Okay. And despite the graphics being on very high and it only stuttered at the very beginning of the game, it ran this game really well. I didn't turn any of this down, which is nice. But like in terms of story or chapter select, I hate the map designs. Like, the only best map design was probably, let me find it. The bar scene was the best map design, and the Louisiana version of the map design, that was probably the best too. The rest of these were horrible. And then I didn't understand the whole backtracking. Like, they did backtracking in Max Payne 2 for a little bit. Not where the player felt overwhelmed. Like when Max Payne woke up in that little nightmare scene in the second game when Mona Sachs visited, that scene was trippy. But you understood what he was going through. He was going through this dark tunnel. He's chasing Mona Sachs, who he really likes because she shares the same personality as he does. Like, she's just as bloodthirsty, she's just as murderous, she's just as reserved, etc. And she doesn't just choose anybody. And Max is practically the same thing. Both the characters were reserved, murderous, and bloodthirsty, but they had reasons on why they were shooting these people, and And in this game, you don't get that. You get an open Max. Like, his character is so cringy that it just doesn't make sense. Like, and the last thing I would say is that they never said what happened to Paul or Raw, whatever his name is. They just said he may go somewhere. No letter, nothing. Like, what? And then two, why did Max choose a hot summit place? Like, where does Baja? Like, you talking about the Bahamas? or was this a part of South America? Or was this, there's just a lot of unexplained stuff. And then the another thing is that when the translation was being said in Spanish, I understand that the game is like, it's more authentic to, show Spanish, so you don't know what they are saying. But at the same time, it should be an option where you can see what's being said here. Some people still, if I was like practicing Portuguese, and I found and the game is saying stuff in Portuguese but doesn't have an English subtitle to go with it, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help me understand the story either, what's being said. It's just a lot of plot holes. Overall, this was a very sloppy version of Max Payne. Really unfortunate. It's a shame that you have to go back to the second game to enjoy yourself and find and playing the third game. Like, in the second game you had Dick Justice, which was apparently what the original name for Max Payne was going to be. Yeah, Lords and Ladies, that was fun. I actually sat there and found the televisions, or found on YouTube and watched throughout the whole 2D one frame dialogue of Lords and Ladies. And then you had the Flamingo one. I forgot what you got, but those all three was fascinating, especially when you get older. You actually understand what is being said here and etc. But in this game, not one TV was interesting. Nothing is really interesting. You can't open up tool covers. You can find golden guns. The gold is hideous. It's one of the most disgusting skins I've ever seen. Shouldn't even be a thing. You should just beat the game, then go for the gold guns if you're interested. But they also should give people a presentation of. Okay, they also should give people a presentation of what the gold guns are going to be. But overall, I'm not going to buy this game. I'm not going to play this game. No, I'm not going to waste my time. Borderlands 3 is more fun. But Borderlands 3 is more new, that's true, but it's just, this game has been robbed of itself. It just didn't make much sense. And then too, you don't really get to know why Max chose Baja. We just know that he can't go back to New York. But then again, Raul Progresso, whatever his name is, he's gone. But he made the suggestion he may go back to New York. But I thought they both couldn't go back to New York. That part didn't make no sense. And then in the second game, and this will probably be my last comment, in the second game of Max Payne, he doesn't need any help except for Mona Sykes in the Squeaky Cleaners building. But in this game, he needs help from everybody, help understanding everything, and it's just a bunch of ludicrous. So, also one last thing, they leave a lot of details out. Like, when he confronted the doctor, you do get an idea that they were harvesting organs and selling them, but it doesn't say anything. It doesn't give you like enough detail to know what's going on here. Like, it could be in two things. Like, if you remember Bad Boys, I think it's the first or second one, Bad Boys 2, you have like the scene where Martin was going through the the pill place, and they were actually finding drugs in the bodies. That leads one to wonder, because there's a bunch of bags here and it doesn't give you no description. So this is, but I ain't gonna play this game anymore. It's just garbage. I'm gonna give it a rating. Don't play it for the sake of your humanity. Don't play it, and I give like a understanding why. But it's been a pleasure. Take care.